South Korean intelligence reports have suggested North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is likely to choose his daughter as his successor. Not much is known about Kim Joo-ae, but she has been seen in recent public appearances alongside her father, sparking rumours that she's been groomed for the top job. Well, let's speak to Stephen Nagy, Professor of Political and International Studies at the International Christian University in Tokyo. Stephen, good to have you on the program as always. Tell us, what do we know about Kim Joo-ae? Do we even know how old she is?
That's the thing. We know very little about this young woman, but she's been thrust into the limelight as the North Koreans are attempting to try and create a succession for the next generation in the Kim family. We believe she's maybe 13 or 14. And as we look, and she's the second child of Kim Jong Un. And what we believe is that the party and under Kim Jong Un's leadership has decided that she's going to be the next generation leader, and they're preparing for her, I guess, becoming that leader in 10 or 15 years. And that requires creating a narrative, and it requires her proximity to her father and the symbols of North Korean power, which is the father being at the front of the party, and of course, those nuclear weapons that North Korea has produced over the past 20 years.
Are you surprised that the reported chosen successor is a female? Kim Jong Un has other children.
Very much so. So in the North Korean self-narrative, it's the paternal line, the male line, that represents the purity of the North Koreans and the Korean state as a whole. And choosing his daughter suggests that one, there's no male alternative, but two, they're trying to soften, I think, the perception of what the Kim family may represent, and to kind of craft a new narrative of what the Kim family and the Kim dynasty means. And it's a dynasty that, of course, has built North Korea, has produced nuclear weapons, has stood tall in the face of pressure from the United States and allies. But also, it's a regime that values family from the point of view of the narrative they're trying to establish. And thrusting this young woman forward is about consolidating that narrative.
So what evidence is there that Kim Joo-ae is being groomed to take over as North Korea's leader? What have we seen? What have they shown us?
So intelligence reports, that means open intelligence reports, have really seen her presence at major events increased dramatically over the past 2 years. So whether it's standing side by side with her father when he's talking about North Korea's nuclear weapons and its military technology, or being front and center at the upcoming Workers' Party Congress, this will all be symbols of demonstrating that this young woman, Kim Joo-ae, is going to be the next anointed leader of the North Korean regime. It's still far away. She's still very young, but we should remember that Kim Jong Un himself was thrust into this position at a very young age, and he's come to surprise of many analysts like myself to be quite a consequential leader, meeting President Trump, meeting President Xi, President Putin, and even attending that September 3rd parade in Beijing. So anything can happen in North Korea, and where we are today is a young woman could be the next leader of North Korea, stepping into the very big shoes of the Kim Jong Un and his family.
And what do you make of the timing? Why is Kim Jong Un firming up succession plans now, or is that just as expected?
But in many ways, it's expected. But I also think that there's worries about his health and what's going to happen. You know, his father died suddenly, and Secretary General Kim Jong-un's health is not known to be very strong. But I also think that it's an opportunity for the Kim family as they think about what they want to do in terms of U.S. North Korean relations, to present a friendly face, maybe create a window of opportunity to begin diplomacy again with the Trump administration, who has shown a willingness to engage in diplomacy, and again, to present a more normal side of North Korea. And it follows a longer story. North Korea has visited Russia, he's visited Vietnam, he visited Singapore, he visited China, and this may be part of that broader story of normalizing the Kim regime, not only as a nuclear rogue state, but a state that is thinking about the next generation of leaders and how to engage with other leaders as a more normal country.
As North Korea's first female leader, potentially, what challenges will she face as leader?
Well, I think the only place that's more male dominated than countries like China and South Korea and Japan in terms of politics would be North Korea. So thrusting a young woman into a leadership position would fundamentally be difficult. She'd faced a very male-oriented society, very male-oriented decision-making process, and all the institutions and levers of power in North Korea are generally run by men. So there's real questions if they would accept her as a female leader. And second, I think importantly, will the North Koreans see her as part of the North Korean line? In many ways, we see Kim Jong Un as, of course, a legitimate leader, but he doesn't come from the pure North Korean line that his brother and other members of the Kim family did. So there's lots of questions here. Will she be accepted by a male-dominated polity, but also does she represent that purity of the Kim dynasty line? And here there's lots of open questions. And again, we're going to have to wait and see and if she does become the leader and what does it mean for North Korean politics.
How does succession work in North Korea? What have we seen in the past?
Well, in the past, the first leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, he passed away, and his son took the lead, and he took the lead of the Workers' Party. He took the position of the General Secretary of the Korean Workers' Party, and he became the leader of the military. And when he died suddenly, Kim Jong-un took that place, and there was a lot of uncertainty whether Kim Jong-un would be able to survive the elderly competitors within the system, but he did very well. He actually executed, or was part of the decision process that executed many of the people that were in positions of power when he came into power. And this consolidated his position within the system. So if Kim Jong-un suddenly dies, or he decides to step down because of health conditions or some other black swan event, we would expect her to represent the Kim family at the funeral, fill these roles as General Secretary and of the Workers' Party and other positions within North Korea. And then after that, slowly consolidate her position, most likely under the mentorship of a senior trusted member of the Kim family. That's what we can ascertain today. But again, North Korea is a black box. It's hard to understand anything that's happening within the system. And we use aggregate data to try and understand where they're going, what's going to happen. And again, in the case of your question, how potential Kim Jong-un would inherit the levers of power in a very opaque North Korea.
Well, that's the thing. As you say, it's really hard to know. Just how secretive is the Kim family? I mean, we didn't even know much about Kim Jong-un's wife. She was only revealed sometime after they'd been married.
You know, it's a hyper anxious and security conscious regime. They feel that the United States and the global community has never accepted the Kim family's rule, and they're in perpetual security mode, trying to protect the family line, the secrets of the Kim family, and whether they have health issues. And you know, when he visited Singapore and he visited Vietnam, the North Koreans actually collected, the most private aspects of an individual's life, feces and urine from the leader to prevent any kind of state secrets escaping into the United States and other powers to potentially reveal vulnerabilities of the Kim regime. So it's ultra secret. I don't think there's any more secret regime on the planet. And this raises so many questions about leadership, decision making, and this important question of succession.
Stephen Nagy, it's really great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for this opportunity.